is Family Constellation Therapy. So, my name is Esther Goldstein, and I am an anxiety and trauma therapist. And at our practice, integrative psychotherapy, our goal is helping our clients really experience relief from their anxiety and trauma symptoms, but also get to the core of where the symptoms are coming from. Because one of our goals for our clients is not just about experiencing short term relief, but about really tending to the roots of the issue so that clients can feel better, not just when they're on the therapist's couch, but way beyond. Right? Good healing is kind of like you're doing this internal processing, it's an investment for your future. So, family constellation therapy is a certain kind of therapy that we actually offer our clients at our practice who are committed to engaging in that kind of healing. I want to just talk to you a little bit about like the three basic tenets or beliefs that family constellation operates on. And I'll explain to you a little bit about how we offer those services to clients in our care and what kinds of shifts you can expect if you engage in family constellation therapy. So the three kind of basic beliefs or tenets is from family constellation therapy is number one, a need for belonging. We all have a need to belong. As social creatures, we all want to belong. I mean, when we're born into the world, we are born into a family. When we get into different, relationships or family dynamics or social structures, there's this feeling of like, I need to belong. And where do I belong? And who are my people? Number two is the need for social order. Social order is kind of like the concept of like there's oldest, there's youngest, there's who's more important. My partner is more important than like my friend or things like that. So there's like the social order. So need for belonging, need for social order, and the last one is the need for equilibrium. There's a need for equilibrium, especially in relationships. There needs to be a give and take, right? I give, you take, I give. So there's that balance in order for relationships to exist. So when it comes to families or constellation of families, right? If there's a lack of balance or if there's like this murky water or if any of the aspects of belonging, social order, or equilibrium are off kilter, what you're going to start seeing are systemic symptoms. Now, systemic symptoms mean that there's going to be symptoms that are impacting the whole system. So, for example, you might see certain relational patterns, either with all the people in the family dynamic or in one person. You might see certain mental health struggles. You might see failure to thrive emotionally, financially, spiritually. There's almost like this stuckness, right? You might see certain health issues or mental health issues, and you kind of wonder. And a lot of that is just the presentation of these systemic symptoms, so to speak, because there's something off balance in the family constellation. Now, family constellation therapy is really good at looking at, there's you and there's these constructs that you operate under, and let's just look at the whole system at large. And sometimes one person's holding more symptoms, sometimes one person knows the truth, sometimes one person has been impacted in one way or another, and there's a way to work with that. So family constellation therapy helps the client individually. You don't have to do family healing work necessarily. It's not like family therapy. Work with the therapist, either one-on-one or in a group dynamic, be able to identify the systems, identify the systemic dynamics or the systemic symptoms, where it's coming from, how it's operating, understand, the person's role in all of that, how and why they're impacted, and ways to kind of undo some of the unhealthy bonding or impacts. So there might be, a way to process forgiveness. There might be a safety in terms of working through rage or frustration or, even just like naming the reality of the systems that you have been living in. So at our practice, when we offer family constellation therapy, the therapist will literally work with either like positioning like an item in the room or have an empty chair, or work with almost like helping there be physical items that represent people or systems. We sometimes will use sand tray therapy. So sand tray is kind of like just like a tray with sand. And then there's figurines. We might play out like a scene or a scenario or a family structure or social structure in the sand. So unconsciously or consciously, right, you're being able to really pinpoint who you are, some of the systemic issues, and ways to start working with that. There are other ways, right? In terms of our practice, our clinicians use internal family systems. So that's parts work, where we get to know the different parts of yourself and the different parts of people in your family system, or in like the constellation of your family, which can mean your immediate family, your extended family, and even just like the legacy of, people from the past, their beliefs, their ways that they dealt with certain things in their life or their own selves or their identity impact you. We found really powerful results in this because sometimes clients come in or people reach out and they say like something just doesn't feel right. and there's this lack of alignment or this discomfort. And sometimes it's not like, oh, I just have anxiety. Sometimes it's this systemic symptoms that are being presented in a family structure, in a person, because of certain situations that they lived with, or realities, or or emotional dynamics. So if you're a person who's aware of the fact that there might be some systemic aspect, or you heard about the concept of family constellation, and you want to do healing work for yourself within the family framework, which means like you understand that you are a person that's connected to the concept of belonging, social order, and equilibrium, and you really want to find more balance for yourself. If you want to do some really, integrative and impactful work, then I encourage you to reach out to our practice or any other practice that offers family constellation therapy. It's really powerful sometimes. Like sometimes something could be so simple as, you're identifying something in the room as, taking on the character traits of someone in your life. And you can notice the feelings you have inside of yourself, and you kind of could externalize it and kind of move it through your body and be able to process things that you've been holding unconsciously or somatically or in your body. Sometimes what's really powerful is people who do family constellation work in groups. It's kind of like psychodrama or group dynamics where people take on certain roles. So that's another way that family constellation work can be really powerful. At our practice, our clinicians are all EMDR trained and offer somatic informed, like the mind-body connection, and use parts work and use creative methods. So we found family constellation work to really just work really well with our clients who are willing and committed and interested in living like authentically, and really getting to know themselves more honestly, and getting to be more clear about who they are, what their role is in their families, in their social networks, and who they are as people who are committed to living meaningful lives. So if there's any kind of symptoms you have, or maybe you have a systemic symptom, then reach out today and see if our practice can be the right fit for you.